Hello, everybody, but not the Kansas City Royals.
What up? Kansas City Royals, you go home. You go home right now.
Never come back. Ever again. Ever again. My name is Tim Daniel. His name is Ben Brown. And welcome to this week's edition of Late Night Reds, brought to you by the Riverfront and the Blue Wire Podcast Media Network, where you can become one of us at latenightreds.com. That's completely wrong. Patreon.com/Riverfront Cincy. Oof, this weekend got us all out of sorts.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you're checking us out on YouTube for the first time, please take a moment to give us a nice, solid subscription. If you're watching us on X, we're back to being streaming live on Twitter, which I'm very happy about. I was missing that. It was a really nice part of our engagement, so you can watch the shows back there again. But we been Yowza was bad this weekend. Let's just look at it. So the Reds come off a huge sweep of division rival the St. Louis Cardinals, get themselves up to second place in the Central as on Thursday, and we're thinking we're looking pretty good. We got a shot. We can get back in this. We're not dead yet. And then Friday happens where they're kind of in the game. Mikey Biceps is doing his thing for the Royals, but they're not out too far. Fernando Cruz gets shelled. Then Saturday happens, and Nick Lodolo gets shelled. I think I lost Ben for a second. We got some. There's Ben. Okay. Nick Lodolo gets shelled yesterday on top of, I don't know, did he get 2 2/3? And then today, they're kind of in it. Andrew Abbott doesn't look terrible. Sure. It's like 4-1. And then Casey Legamita decides, I'm going to make this unreachable. And he gets shelled. There was a lot of shellings. A lot of shellings this weekend for Reds pitching.
Yeah, it was not good. We didn't fool anybody. I mean, just the way to put it. I mean, we didn't fool anybody. It was I don't know, man. It like coming off the high of beating the Cardinals, and everybody was kind of buying in, and it was almost like in Major League when the owner was like, "Oh, we can't have this," and just like, and the team just went to crap. Like that's kind of what it felt like. Like coming off of that Cardinal series, dude, we should have been riding a high. Like we should have been trying to put wins together, and that's not taking anything away from the Kansas City Royals. They are a phenomenal.
Yeah, they rule. They're really awesome.
Junior's legit. That lineup is legit. So I'm not taking anything away from them. But you're coming off sweeping a division foe, moving up in the standings, and there you are. And you're coming home. Like you're playing at home. And you just get mollywopped. Just two-piece combo.
Competitive. Yeah.
Two-piece combo, no biscuit. They took you to the woodshed. Said, nah, not believing that. Anyway, you put that up there. Nah, Aaron Judge is legit. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was just demoralizing all the way around. I don't know what's going on. I just don't like the game. I don't know what's going on with Lodolo. Like, and I've tried to kind of I'm no major league pitching savant, or I don't know anything about it, but dude, he just looks off. Like,
yeah,
his locations are off. His velocity's down. Like, and I don't know if it's because he's not pitched a full season before, so maybe he's hitting that wall. But dude, he just looks bad. He does not look like a guy that where you're looking at 1-2 ace to second ace with Greene, and he is not looking like that guy at all. And like I said, I don't know anything about Major League pitching. I do know a little bit about a guy that's had not gone through a full season before, trying to get through the fatigue of a full season. And that's what it looks like to me. He looks like a guy that, he is struggling. He is struggling to mightily try to get through starts. And I don't know if he's just not healthy. I don't know if the blister's still playing a role in it. I don't know if he's just trying to gut it through. I don't know, but he doesn't look like a guy that we thought of 2 months ago. We were like,
No,
oh man, like he's solid. This guy's going to be legit. Like
he's
if we can
Chris
put
Sale
those two
too.
together,
Yeah.
yeah. Like we're and not like I'm just like he's going to suck for the rest of his time. I'm not saying that, but he does not look like the guy where we were like, man, this guy's going to be able to get a lot of outs for a lot of years to come, and he is struggling mightily to the point where like you may want to check on him and see if it's something where you got to shut him down again, or if you just let him just earn these butt whippings and just take them and go from where it is, because he does not look like a guy that we thought he was going to be.
Yeah, and I've said on here that I really think that 2025 Nick Lodolo is going to be freaking awesome. I really do believe that. I think that this is a year where he's going to kind of go through that, to where he's going to have next year to take his Hunter Greene step forward. I don't know if he's going to be Hunter Greene, but my point being that, dude, like it's there, like the talent's certainly there, and it's just going to, you got to go through this. You got to grow. And we saw where Hunter grew, and we're waiting to see Nick Lodolo take that step. And I think it's in him.
I think that's the conversations we were having last year about Hunter, right? Like we were like, man, like we just need him to take that step. We need him to get better. We're tired of holding our breath, waiting for Hunter Greene to turn the page, and it takes a minute. I mean, it takes some time. So, I mean, it's we're hoping that this is that Lodolo era for him, where he's just learn how to do things to where he gets to his better self next year.
Yeah, for sure. Fernando Cruz probably needs a break. I think that's pretty fair to say. Since people figured out the splitter, it has not been fun to watch.
Yeah. You're right about that. He is the proverbial government mule. Like they're like, hey, go out there and throw that splitter. And they're like, guys, that's not working. He's even looking at the managers like, that's not working anymore, guys. We're running out of options.
What else you got?
I mean, and like I kind of feel bad because like in the beginning, remember, like we were talking about that guy being he should be the closer.
Yeah,
he's the guy. Nobody can hit that splitter. Guys have figured out the splitter. So I mean, it's I feel bad because we probably ran him out there way too many times. Like I mean, and people have started to figure out his best pitch and to his. I mean, I mean you can blame him, but I kind of don't, because we run him out there a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just,
there is a lot of tape on that splitter nowadays.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, like I said, they used him far more than what was expected, and eventually, I mean, major league hitters are major league hitters for a reason. Like they figure it out. I mean, and that's why as a pitcher you have to start doing different things and getting creative and trying to think the game a little more. Because sometimes your best stuff ain't good enough. You're not gonna get guys out. So,
yeah, man, I'm with you. On the offense side of things, just so 3 total runs scored this inning. I mean, this whole series, not a good week for the but the run differential people. That's that was a little heartbreak. That was a little heartbreaking for those people. Now, the Reds are still plus 30 in runs, I know, but they're also a game and a half out of last place now, too. So, take that as you will. But, man, so, you can get beat sometimes. They had 18 hits the whole series, too.
Yeah.
So, not good. And we're at the point now where, Larkin makes the comments earlier in the week about, 500 baseball is not winning baseball. And shout out Barry Larkin for having the guts to say that. I loved it. And then we have John Sadak today, basically like kind of, I'm never going to, John's my guy forever, and I'm never going to throw him under the bus, but you can kind of feel the vibes in the broadcast today of like, what is going on and what's happening and why is it happening? And it's just kind of, man, it's just so frustrating because we've had this conversation how many times now? We're running out of ways to say they're disappointing. I don't really know how many more ways you can say it besides gotta guess for these next 5 weeks of the season. But we're at this point now where I think that the conversation that Chad, Nate, and Joe had on the Riverfront Red Star this week was great in the sense that, hey, they've got a core now. Like they've got, you've got dudes you can rely on. It's building off that. Will you do it? Now, for the love of God, if anyone comes in this chat and says they should sign Trevor Bauer, I am not listening to you, and chances are I will not welcome you on the show at any time. But I just am. Zach Kozar tweeted that today. Fucking Zach Kozar. Sorry for my language, but come on, Zach. Be real, buddy. Be real. Yeah. But it's just like, this is unacceptable. This is horrible. Oh, not to mention, we got the Blue Jay series coming up. You know who's pitching Monday or Tuesday?
Not a clue.
They don't either. They don't know. We're going on a road trip. We're going to have bullpen days back to back.
Yeah.
And David Bell, once again, comes in here and he goes, they just beat us every way possible, but we're going to figure it out. We got a lot to play for. Like, you don't have nothing to play for anymore. Come on, man. Again, I am not taking anything away from the Kansas City Royals because they are dudes. Like, they are in the spot they're in for a reason. Oh, because you know what they did? They saw their weaknesses and they did something about it this offseason. They didn't go get superstar players. They got good players who can give competitive at-bats and make things happen. And guess what? They make things happen. Hunter Renfroe. Come on. Hunter Renfroe was getting hits on the Reds this week. Come on. Hunter Renfroe was with the Reds for 3 weeks last year? And I think he had 2 hits the whole time. So he comes to the GABP, he's slumping, he can't hit the side of a bar, and all of a sudden he's dropping doubles in the gap. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, we have become we are the good team's cure for their ails. Like, good teams come and play the Reds, and they're like, gosh, glad we got this Red series coming up, boy. Oh, and Hunter Greene's out too? Oh, yeah, dude, this is hey, this is barbecue chicken, as Shaq would say. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yeah, we can beat this team. So it's disheartening. And here's the thing is that now you're starting to the guys that are trying to be neutral, and guys that are in the media and guys that are trying to say the right things aren't able to hold their tongues anymore. So now it's starting to become a media problem because those guys are going to be like, look, like you said this is what was going to happen, and we told you how this was going to go down, and it's going down that way. And those guys aren't dumb. They're around that club and that organization way more than we are.
For sure.
So they had to know the writing was Barry Larkin. You can't tell me that Barry Larkin didn't know the writing was on the wall. You can't tell me that Barry Larkin doesn't know that Bell is a lame duck manager. You can't tell me that Barry Larkin doesn't know that this roster was compiled like crap. You can't tell me that Barry Larkin doesn't know how to build a roster of guys that can go in and day out and play consistently. So when you got guys, I mean, Barry, you got Chris Welch, you got guys that are around the game and know the game. Like, it's hard for them to watch because they can see what's going to happen before probably we can even see it.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but there are a lot of things Barry Larkin says in the broadcast that make me go, does he know what he's doing? And again, I'm not going to talk bad about Barry. One of my favorite Red players of all time. His jersey is signed and hanging in my basement. 2, Byron is a buddy of mine, so I don't want this getting back to Byron that I said something bad about his brother. So, be professional. Quirky Picker, I saw your comment about, we're going to get to that here in a couple segments. So hang tight. We will talk about him. But yeah, man, it's just a lot of whatevers. And I feel like the acceptance of mediocrity is what's so disappointing and disheartening. Branch, what up, Branch says, what do you all think about the Reds going after Matt Chapman? Bro, Matt Chapman and GABP been talked about barbecue chicken. That guy might hit 45 home runs at GABP. I do think it would take a contract the Reds may not be comfortable with. I agree. But yeah, that's the perfect at bat for what this team needs, right?
That means they won't do it.
Right. Makes too much sense.
Too much sense.
Yeah. But
5 years? Why would we give a guy 5 years? Are you kidding? Yeah. Not gonna happen.
Last time we gave someone a long-term contract that was a really good offensive player, it kind of bit us in the butt. We had to pay him $22 million to let him walk.
He was pretty good.
Yeah, he was good. So to add to just like the proverbial metaphorical kick in the groin, Hunter Greene goes to the IL. So should I give my super ignorant conspiracy theory, or should we?
No, absolutely, because that is what I was going to discuss. Because when I sent that to you, what you sent back to me in the text group chat, I was like, man, you know what? He kind of got a point. So yes, absolutely, share.
Okay, so first things first. This is a joke, but it's also would not shock me if the Reds legitimately did. So before anyone in the chat's like, you're an idiot, Tim. 1, yes, I am an idiot. I'm well aware. 2, I'm wearing a Darkwing Duck sweatshirt, so let's get dangerous.
Let's get dangerous.
Hunter Greene has a nice little bonus incentive in his contract that basically says if he wins the Cy Young, he gets like a $10 million bonus. If he's second in voting, he gets a $5 million. If he's fourth in voting, he gets a $2 million. If he's like in the top 10 in voting, he gets a milli. So my joking, sort of, kind of, not really, I don't know if I am or not joking.
Nah, man, say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. Go ahead, put it.
Me thinks the old Castellinis might be trying to save a little bit of a payday with how good old Hunter Greene's been pitching these past few months. You feel me? Feels like they're like, we need to take him out of this race now.
Yeah.
I hope that's not the case.
Dude, it just feels that way. And I didn't even know about the bonuses until you brought it up. And then I was like, ooh, dude, like that is just that. If that's the case, like that's filthy. Like, you know how dirty that I pray that that's not the case. I really do. I pray that that's not the case. But gosh, like what in this organization's history tells you that they would do anything different? Like, honestly, like they I mean, what tells you that they would do anything different? Like a guy that has redefined his game is coming in, he's setting the world on fire. Major League Baseball starting to take notice. Major League writers are starting to take notice. This dude is Cy Young caliber, blah, blah, blah. And now he's on the 15-day IL.
For elbow soreness?
How many innings did he pitch his last outing? Did he go 7?
I think he got into the 7th.
He got into the 7th, right?
The St. Louis game, he got into the 7th.
That's not a guy that has a sore elbow.
Right. Was it like did he have a bullpen on Wednesday or Thursday?
That's not a he got into the 7th strong. Like that's not a guy that's got elbow soreness. I mean, unless he slept on it funny or he heard it in long toss. Like his bullpen day. I don't know. But it's very conspicuous to me that your best pitcher is now starting to gain national recognition and being part of the Cy Young talk. And even if he finishes third, which, Tim, let's be honest, there's a good chance he was going to finish at least third.
He's top 3 for sure.
He's top 3 for sure. And that's going to cost you $4 million on top of the contract you already – you can't tell me that in the history of Reds ownership that they would not do something like that. Like I just to me I think that the organization already knows that they're out of it. I really do. Like they want to be rah rah, and they'll do some small moves here and there, pick up guys here and there to make you think that there's something going on. But in their heart of hearts, they're like, yeah, it's done. We're not going to pay this guy $4 million. If he has 5 more outings or 3 more outings and he wins all 3, goes 7 in all 3, and gives up less than 2 runs a game, pretty good chance of him being either 1 or 2 in Cy Young voting, because the national media was starting to catch on to Hunter Greene. No. So it would not shock me if they're like, you know what, let's reel him in a little bit, save him for next year when we're really good and we'll build a team around him. We know we have an ace now, so we know we don't have to go out and get another pitcher. Let's pull him back, save some of those starts, and then maybe he can get 1 or 2 starts at the end of the year, kind of die down on that Cy Young talk. Wouldn't shock me.
Well, that, and then David Bell doing his kiss of death, and the MRI made us feel really confident that he's only going to be down for the required 15 days and he'll be back right away. And it's like, so his arm's falling off. He's like, he's got dysentery. Like,
right.
Yeah. Branch says, wouldn't the agent and the union lose their minds? For sure. That's why I haven't guaranteed it.
Absolutely.
This is just me playing. Branch, you watch the same team we do, all right? We're running low on content. So let me put my tinfoil hat on for 20 minutes and just run this through and talk about this Phantom IL trip, okay? Because, come on. Like Ben said, it wasn't like when Nolan Arenado hit his solo shot off Hunter Greene in the 7th in that Cardinals series, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, my elbow. We're more worried about him puking in his glove.
Right.
I mean, yeah. I'm sure there's probably some people out there like, you are an idiot. And you know what? I probably am an idiot. But tell me it does not feel like it's something old Bob and Philly would do. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Do people think? Funny. Yeah. I mean, come on now. Let's just be realistic. People are like, oh, Pat's in the chat. What up, Pat? Pat just missed our whole tinfoil conspiracy theory. Now I'm kind of bummed because I would have loved his comments on it. Hunter Martin says Kyle Tucker has been day-to-day for 3 months. Isn't that like didn't the Patriots used to always, like, every injury report they released Tom Brady as a questionable?
Yep.
I used to always love that. That would always crack me up. So we kind of did a shorter show today because obviously we're all feeling what you're feeling out there, but there is some news to chat about. So the Reds did make a waiver claim today and getting one Amed Rosario. And well, he's good. I mean, he can hit pretty decently. He's had a good year, but Chad, quirky picker Chad is adding to our conspiracy theory, Ben.
Okay.
Amed Rosario can wait. This is more important.
Another. Oh, there. What was the over/under total strikeouts for Hunter Greene for the year? That is a good question.
I maybe we're not insane. I don't know. If the Reds see this, they'll probably just like forever block us, but they already do, you know. We're the billboard company, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like this quirky picker Chad coming on here. Chad Dotson would have been really fun to hear on this. He probably doesn't want to have to talk anything about Hunter Greene being hurt ever again after the last time. So you know, I don't blame him. Anyway, Amed Rosario, he's hitting 305 this year, but this is like the Buck Farmer thing we talk about where it's like, it's not a good 305. 305 is good, obviously, but there's a lot of blue on this here Baseball Savant page. Fielding run value in the 9th percentile. Expected weighted on base average in the 15th percentile. Average exit velocity in the 14th percentile. Barrel in the 15th percentile. He's going to fit right in. But he's fast. He's fast, and he doesn't strike out, which I can appreciate. He doesn't strike out. And he's So you know, like I said, he's got that nice 305. But the Dodgers did a roster crunch, and they said, this guy is not good enough for our team. And he played like 5 games for them after getting traded from Tampa. So if the Dodgers think he's not good enough, bring him to Cincy. We'll put him right there with old Ty Francie, and we'll just make a run at it, right, guys? Guys? Yeah.
Pat, you're right. Trying to build a contender with waiver claims. He's like, ooh, they let him go. Let's get him. You're like, there's a reason why they let him go.
Ben, have you ever heard of a vampire fantasy football league?
I have not.
Mm-mm. Okay, so this is literally what the Reds are doing. So people who don't know what I'm talking about, work with me here, okay? So the idea is, just say you have like a 10-team league. 9 people draft, and the 10th person, all they do is they just fill a roster up with who was left over from the draft. So they basically do waiver claims. Yeah. And if they beat you, say like week 1, they beat the guy they beat their opponent. Then they can pick a guy from your team and trade him onto their roster.
Oh,
it's really
I've
difficult.
Never heard that.
So
that's really hard. Yeah,
that's what the Reds are doing. They're like, we'll bring this guy in. If we beat you, maybe we can impress somebody. That's what's going on here. They're vampiring this. They're vampiring us.
Vampiring the roster.
That's what this felt like. Oh man, only tender he knows is a chicken. That's pretty funny, actually. That's really funny. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those dudes that like he's bounced around the league a ton. He's with the Mets for a little while. He's with the Guardians for a little while. Was traded to the Dodgers last year for Noah Syndergaard. Then the Dodgers let him go to free agency. He goes to Tampa, and then he goes back to the Dodgers for 5 games.
And
Dodgers
like, no, we're good.
Yeah, we got all these other dudes who can rake, and you're hitting pretty well, but these dudes are the dudes.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Mookie Betts came back. They were like, we're gonna put Mookie Betts back in right field. We don't need you.
We don't need you.
I'm not against the pickup by any means, but the fact that it's like they're like Pat said, if we get all these guys on waivers, we can really make something happen. We got all these guys on waivers, and we get these guys back. I don't know, Injabo might reattach his arm and pitch bullpen innings again. Like, this is going to be great. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah. No, it's I always feel like I can just picture like Nick Carlson in his office going like, see, I'm making moves. People are mad I'm not making moves. I'm making moves. I'm making moves. Y'all see me? I'm doing it. I am doing it. You're like, nope, wrong moves, man. Like, this is not what we're talking about. This is not the answer. I mean, I guess it's better than sitting pat. I guess. I mean, I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
I'm at a loss. I really am.
Yeah, and obviously, the nice thing about him is he can play a lot of positions defensively, so that's nice.
Yeah.
But man, like, is he getting you in the wild card race? Is he helping you jump 5 teams to get that 3rd spot from Atlanta? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Yeah. And this is our point, is like, I don't mean to harp each and every week that like they need to be better. They need to be better. All right. And I think, like I said, I feel like now you're kind of putting together this idea that maybe they finally have a core. Maybe this is finally that time. So, Hunter Greene, Ellie De La Cruz. I think you can put Tyler Stevenson in there as the core because he has been, I don't know, maybe he just has to keep having more babies. That's fine with me.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Just he's been solid.
Yeah. Cat's probably still the bag on Matt McClain since he won't play this year. By the way, have you looked at Jonathan India's numbers for last month?
I really have not.
Buddy, not he good. Cooled off. Cooling off would be putting it nicely. The end of the bear when he gets stuck in the freezer in the end of season 2? That's where we're at right now.
Oh, ouch.
He went in the freezer to get some vegetables and the handle broke off the freezer and he's just stuck in there. Is where we're at.
No bueno.
But man, it's just kind of like, these are the things where we're just so bleh. Like, I don't know. Let's look at so Spencer Steer's been hitting all right of late. Jandra Candelario hit a homer yesterday, but he's not looked very good for a while. His last 30
Yeah.
games, he's got a nice solid 248 on base, 391 slugging. That's ugly. They just they don't have enough guys to get at bats anymore,
Yeah.
and it's so frustrating. And I just don't know how many more ways we can say it. TJ Friedel today had 3 strikeouts, and I'm not blaming him because I know this is a guy who's did everything possible to be in the lineup again this year, and I'm happy to see it. And he hasn't necessarily been bad; he just hasn't been what we thought he'd be. And maybe that's just because maybe last year was it. I don't know, but there needs to be a total overhaul in this this season coming up, and it's not just get a guy here, get a guy there. Like no, like yes, give Matt McLean a shot in 25 if he if the shoulder's okay, and see if he can be the guy we think he's going to be. I'm fine with that.
Right.
But other than that, the guys we name, the De La Cruzes, the Stevensons, complete overhaul.
Yeah. I mean, of course, we'll have tons of off-season episodes to look at and
Starting next week.
Plan and and starting to break things down. But man, I just really want to see them delve into an off season where they feel like they can be competitive. And honestly, the first move for me, and I hate that he has to be the scapegoat, but David Bell's got to go. I just don't think the guys respond to him. I think that's got to be your first move. And then you go from there. If you really care about winning, you've got 2 guys on your roster that everybody else would love to have, and that's Ellie De La Cruz and Hunter Greene.
Right.
You build around those 2. And you put a roster together that where you can go out and win games consistently. We're not asking you to go out and win 100 games. Would be nice, but go out and you don't have to win 100 games to win the Central.
No.
Like just go out and be consistently decent every night. Put a lineup together that is going to be able to challenge major league pitching every night, and let the chips fall where they may. Like, just go out and be competitive in the off season. Like, I just don't understand being okay with just being mediocre. I don't get it.
I hate it. I'm just tired of it, man. I'm done with
Yeah.
it. I'm just tired of, and at the time, maybe I'm just kind of feeling the whole coming off last year and they go and take the moves in the off season. And I think last year we definitely questioned Candelaria, but we thought Frankie Montas had a good chance of bouncing back. But in hindsight, you kind of go, that makes a lot of sense. They made that move. That makes a lot of sense. Emilio Pagan, who, when he has been on the mound, which hasn't been much, hasn't looked very good. Nick Martinez, I have no faults, issues, complaints, whatever. He's definitely better as a reliever than a starter, but taking these Ashcraft starts, he's been fine. Yeah, man, I don't know.
Do you think they're just holding down the fort until they feel like some of those farm guys, like your Rhett Louders and all those guys, are ready to? You think they're just holding pat until they feel like those guys are ready to come up and be contributors? Do you feel like they're just like, well, we're just waiting for the farm guys to be ready and then we'll make our run? Like, I'm just trying to justify in my brain as to why they always just like I don't know, like they don't build a roster very well. Like, are they just waiting? Are they hoping that those guys pan out? Are they saying, hey, this is the way we can save money by building in house? I don't know.
An option. That's definitely part of the conversation.
It's just mind boggling.
Yeah, and I think that plays a part. I feel like when we have this David Bell conversation that you kind of referenced earlier, I want to get to that before I answer your second question. I think when we have these conversations, the thing we always hear is, well, they need Lou Piniella. They need a Lou Piniella. I don't think they need a Lou Piniella. I think maybe, like, if we're comparing managers of Reds past, give me a Davey Johnson. That dude,
Yeah.
players liked him and they won.
Yeah.
And that's fine with me. I don't know. I also don't really know how much I can put into I don't know how much hypothesis of they how much the manager helps, but I think he does matter to us. I think that you got to like the guy you show up to work for every day, right? I think that's a
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
But your second question, I don't know if I would go that route. But I do think they definitely obviously care way too much about and I get it. You want to have your homegrown talent be part of your big league team. That's why you
Mm-hmm.
draft them. That's why you invest in them. Absolutely get it. But
Mm-hmm.
after Louder and Chase Burns, what does it look like? I mean, they couldn't give up. They refused to trade Connor Phillips last year, and at one point this year, he was down with he was down in Goodyear, Arizona, with the DSL team. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
From AAA to that team.
Yeah.
That's not ideal.
No.
And then, I don't know what the future of Graham Ashcraft is with this team, but it doesn't look promising at this point. Sorry,
No.
Nate. They just had a conversation the other day about, is Andrew Abbott going to be a Red next year? Might be the person you got to throw into a situation to get that big right-handed at bat.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot riding on this offseason. You've got dudes, and now it's just kind of figuring out how you can put dudes around those dudes to make this happen, because it's time. You cannot go through this again. Since the 2013 team, this has been miserable. It's been absolutely miserable. Your one postseason appearance is 2020, where you had an extended playoffs because of the shortened season because of COVID, and you didn't score a single run in your 2 games before you got eliminated by the Braves. Matter of fact, you had to give it 74 innings and didn't score a run. Okay, so 2021, you're in the race. You're finished above 500. That's great, and don't make the playoffs. Last year, you overperform and you're really fun and exciting, and you give us this hope that we could go into 2024 and we're all excited. And here we are. So, yes, Ben, you're right. We are going to have a lot of offseason conversations coming up. But we got to start thinking about a game plan right now, because they're cooked this year, like Hunter said. Yeah, I'm all for it at this point. Don't send Fernando Cruz, Novi Marte down. Whatever. This year stinks.
Right.
Yeah, Joey Gaditza. Wish Williamson was available out now. What the hell happened to Brandon Williamson? Did he also just lose a thumb? We all he's worked out. He got returned from his rehab assignment, never to be seen again.
Yep.
What does the rehab team look like right now in Goodyear? Would they look like a major league team?
Oh yeah. Yeah. They're legit.
They're going out there playing these new draftees and these simulated games and just striking everybody out and hitting other spots. And you're like, oh, okay, this is
that's what this looks like.
Yeah. I don't know. Brandon Williamson might have a shot to be a starter with how everything's dropping right now for this team for next year. So, yeah, it's not good. All right. Well, let's get to our last segment of the show, obviously, where we preview the series coming up. And the Reds are now going to go north of the border to face the old Toronto Blue Jays. And starting pitching for the Reds on the first 2 games are...
Man, TBA, he's always solid, though.
TBA. You always count on him.
He's always been solid. I mean, he never misses.
So much, he's going to pitch back-to-back days.
Yeah, dude, he's consistent.
Yeah.
He's like a softball pitcher. His arm doesn't get tired. He just goes.
Yeah, I don't know if it's been announced since I made these slides. Let me just check real quick, see if Charlie or someone put something out. But yeah, Kevin Gossman, remember he pitched for the Reds for a short time? He was pretty good. No, they're still haven't seen anything on the socials for they've announced guys. That's awesome. That's a good feeling. Tuesday, TBA going against Jose Barrios, who's had a pretty decent year.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday, you got Nick Martinez going against Uriel Gonzalez. And obviously the thing that's in the air, the thing everyone's questioning. Does Toronto do it? Do they bring him up? Is this a series that he makes his Blue Jays debut?
Oh,
I hope so. I hope so.
I hope so. That would be nice.
Full on, You know, in like the Avengers movies, when it's like, oh no, all hope is lost, and the one person shows up, and when they puts their
Mhm.
superpowers on, that's what's happening here. Um,
Yeah.
so I just it would be perfect. I don't know how close he is. I know he's in AAA. You see that picture of him and Dusty Baker's kid?
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was super cool. Yeah, Hunter, the Jays are cooked. Just do it. I agree. Um, yeah, that was super neat. Him and Darren Baker playing against each other after, and then like that was neat. But I would love to do it. I would love to see him out there and maybe
Absolutely.
get a bomb off us at the Rogers Center and,
Off of
um,
TBA.
yeah, off TBA. So right now it looks like it's gonna be back-to-back bullpen days. It feels like it's gonna be one of those days where tomorrow at like 4:30 Eastern, right? We're gonna get the push notification. The Reds have purchased the contract of, and then that guy whose contract got purchased on Tuesday is going to be designated for assignment, and they're going to purchase someone else's contract and bring this guy up to throw. We're right back to where we were last year in this scenario, man. And this is stupid.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh.
You
Just
know, when I last year when I said, "Hey, would you like to be a full-time co-host for Late Night Reds?" I thought we were going to have so much more fun than we have fun still. We definitely
oh,
have
we still
fun.
have fun. It's just watching this debacle of a team. Just oh man, just
I get
oh
I get outscored 28-3 in a series. Are you Tom Brady in the first half of the Super Bowl against the Falcons?
yeah. I guess
Like,
yeah. Especially coming off the Cardinal series where we had so much promise.
yeah.
And you get to come home, you put on your City Connects, and you just get mollywopped. Can't say you don't give a crap about your freaking nice little uniforms,
No,
your home field. They don't care about any of that. They're
no.
like, we're about business.
Yeah. And then after they do this whole series in Toronto, they go to Pittsburgh for 4. And
Oh yeah,
yeah. So you have an 80% chance you're going to see Paul Skeens in that series.
yep,
Wonderful. I'm just
yep.
happy to hear it. Andrew McCutcheon's on the IL, though. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah, I don't care.
Hmm.
I did see that there's a pending lawsuit between, I think it's Sydney said this to me. So I guess Sheets and the Pirates are being sued by the MLBPA right now over the sponsorship. I got to get more details, but shout out Sheets for realizing that they invested in a terrible team and we're
Yeah,
just going to get out of it.
they try to get back out of it. They're like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Like, oh.
That PR person got fired immediately.
Yeah. It's
Like,
like,
well,
guys,
why would you make that deal?
I got a uniform deal with the Pirates. And they went, East Carolina? No,
Right.
no. Okay.
Awful.
Awful. All right. Well, we're 15 minutes under normal time. Anyone have anything they want to throw at us before we get out of here? Any questions at all? I want to talk about my Darkwing Duck sweatshirt because it's pretty cool.
That is pretty sick.
Yeah. I had a guy at the gym the other day who gave me some props for it.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's a dope sweatshirt.
Yeah, it is. Baby Gronk greater than Skeens. That's funny. That's pretty funny. All right. Well, I think 45 minutes is fair for what this team has been, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Branch says allowed to be in the rotation next season. I agree. I feel like he's going to be in Louisville pretty soon, the way he's been pitching in Double A of late. So, all right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and round this up. Thanks for sitting with us as we just air our grievances. It's like Festivus every week now.
It is like Festivus.
I'm going to sit here and tell you people how I feel. That is us every single week now. Thank you as always for checking us out. Happy to be back streaming our shows live on X. So give us a follow at Late Reds. Check us out at Riverfront Cincy on the YouTubes. If you are not a Patreon member, go to patreon.com/Riverfront Cincy. Just a couple bucks a month. You can hang out with us. Don't forget that if you have not used SeatGeek before and you want to use it and get some cash money off of your order, go to SeatGeek and use the code Riverfront, and we'll save you $20 off your order. So, what can I say except you're welcome? And on behalf of Ben Brown, this is Tim Daniel. Hopefully next week we're talking about beating up on the Pirates. See you, everybody.
Yes, sir.